Digital diamonds, it's time for another digital gem. Let's get started. Welcome back to Digital Healthcare Solutions, a healthcare network developed to equip, empower, and encourage a thriving digital healthcare nomad community. In today's Diamond video, we are looking at making the complex clear and simple by sharing simple steps to effective CPT medical coding. Before delving into our main topic, it's important to have some industry knowledge and assurance that you are in the right place, at the right time. Healthcare occupations as a whole, including medical coders, technicians, and billers, are projected a robust industry growth, exceeding the national average of approximately 13% between 2021 to 2031, equating to approximately 2 million new jobs over one decade. So, what's needed and how do we get there? If you think Grey's Anatomy is no more than a Netflix and chill episodic series surrounding the melodramatic lives of surgical interns and mentors, it might be time to pull out the real Grey's Anatomy reference book of human anatomy. Fun fact: the original Grey's Anatomy textbook is referenced by many medical students as the Doctor's Bible, which was written by Henry Grey and first published in 1858. Since the original publishing, this reference book has experienced countless revisions. Through and through, the necessity of knowing medical terminology and understanding anatomy and physiology is essential to a successful and sustainable coding career. With that being said, here's our first gem: attitude. We have all read or heard the mantra before, attitude impacts your latitude. And as this quote is still true, the late Zig Ziglar actually said, "It's your attitude, not your aptitude, that will determine your altitude." Meaning, intentionality, determination, and a positive attitude matters. What we say and what we think determines how high we soar. Embracing an ideology that the world is yours, mine, and ours to accelerate learning, we strive to understand everything. And, because you strive to be a digital diamond, you read everything, your knowledge is broad and expansive, you attract success, and you create the life that you want to live. When we consume any form of digital entertainment or information, we must adjust our intellectual consumption barometer from entertainment only to a learner mode. We must be intentional about understanding healthcare by widening the lens and scope of our information. As a digital diamond, opportunities to perform medical coding locally, domestically, and even internationally are incredible, and will continue to expand as you expand your knowledge, and as you develop strong coding skills. The variety and diversity of healthcare coding are humongous. You may hear of or even see smaller medical offices or private practices assigning one person to complete their coding and billing by using a superbill or a coding billing software system. However, most mid-size and larger practices, including hospitals, typically have two separate departments employing the duties of billers and medical coders separately. Fun fact number 2. Billers versus coders, which one is better? Neither profession is better. Both professions are just different from the other. One of the primary roles of a medical biller is to ensure the accurate and efficient submission and reimbursement of medical claims for healthcare providers. In addition to billing submissions, medical billers are often responsible for verifying insurance coverage, processing payments, while managing denied claims. Because most offices use a medical billing software, accurate training and education must be maintained by medical billers as well. Whereas the vast majority of medical coders review medical documentation, translate notes into diagnosis and procedure codes, and query healthcare providers when needed. Medical coders are responsible for accurately and efficiently depicting a patient's complete encounter with numeric or alphanumeric medical codes. Fun fact number 3. Medical coders are known by a variety of titles like inpatient coder, outpatient coder, coding specialist, diagnostic coder, clinical coding officer, E&M coder, risk adjustment coder, and coding auditor, just to name a few. Okay, back to the real gems. When coding procedures using CPT codes to ensure accuracy, completeness, and compliance, it is imperative to stay up to date while following current coding guidelines. By routinely studying and following current CPT coding guidelines, you will be provided instructions on how to correctly sequence codes, how to use modifiers, and when to use bundled codes. Additional resources like the AMA's CPT Assistant and CPT Changes an Insider's View will be of further assistance by providing updates to past, present, and future code sets, rationales, and implications of the code set changes, and so much more. As we prepare to code, it is extremely beneficial for coding professionals to understand the purpose of the CPT code being considered. Each CPT code is assigned for a specific purpose, so it is important to understand the code's intent and use it accordingly. Be sure to review the code descriptions and repeatedly examine the coding guidelines to select the appropriate code. Also make sure to code to the highest level of specificity, based on the available documentation. This includes ensuring that all relevant components of the procedure are accurately captured, such as any surgical approaches, techniques, or devices used. Now, we are ready to apply our simple steps to effective CPT medical coding. First, go back, and always, familiarize yourself with your CPT codebook. Remember, the CPT codebook is a coder's main source for CPT coding. If you are not using coding software, make sure you have the latest edition of the CPT codebook. Do you remember why? Yes, because CPT codes are updated annually, and new codes become effective January 1st of each year. Now, read the entire clinical documentation. To accurately code a procedure, you need to have a thorough understanding of the patient's medical record by reading the procedure notes, operative report, history and physical, and any additional supporting documentation. Be sure to identify and understand the who, what, where, when, why, and how of the patient encounter to better understand the entire patient experience. Next, identify the main aspects of the procedure. This includes identifying the type of procedure, the body part or organ involved, the method of the procedure, and any additional services or procedures performed during the patient encounter. Again, understanding the who, what, where, when, why, and how of the patient encounter is essential to coding accuracy and completeness. Have you heard this imperative before? If it's not documented, it didn't happen. At no point in time ever can a coding or billing professional ever guess or fill in the blanks of a physician's unclear or missing clinical notes? Physicians do not document for professional medical coders, and medical coders do not decode for physicians. Based upon the policies and procedures of a medical facility or private office, a query might be initiated between the coder and the physician to gain clarity. However, it must be understood that a physician query is a legal inquisition and must be expressed verbally or written, in a manner that is not leading nor influencing, yet designed to obtain additional clarity to improve the specificity and completeness of the documentation. So once again, if it's not documented, it just didn't happen, and if it just didn't happen, you can't code it. Now, select the appropriate CPT code based on the documentation. Once you have identified the main elements of the procedure, select the appropriate CPT code from the codebook. Be sure to use modifiers as needed to indicate any additional or unique aspects of the procedure. Excellent. Finally, and please note, this step is extremely important. Verify the code. Make sure to double-check the code to ensure accuracy and completeness. This includes verifying that the code accurately reflects the procedure performed and that any required modifiers are included. By following these key simple steps to effective medical coding, you can get ready to celebrate stronger CPT coding skills and creating the life that you want to live. Well, that's it for now. We hope and trust this information will be used and shared as a valuable tool as you strive to be a digital diamond, a professional medical coder, a professional biller, or even if you are starting your own billing service. No matter what you do, please remember. Because you strive to be a digital diamond, you read everything, your knowledge is broad and expansive, you attract success, and you create the life that you want to live.